Hey there, and welcome. As your Kube chef, I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here for this high-energy explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the secret menu of Kubernetes. We're stepping right into the Kube cake shop to figure out exactly how we can extend our digital kitchen. I mean, if you've ever wondered how Kubernetes manages those ridiculously complex, custom applications that go way beyond the basics, well, you are in the exact right place. So grab your aprons because we're going to decode the exact recipe behind custom resource definitions and operators. Let's get cooking.
All right, let's just dive right in. Out of the box, our Kubernetes kitchen comes with a pretty standard chalkboard menu. We've got our staple items, right? Pods, services, deployments. These are literally the bread and butter of our operations. The built-in staff inside this kitchen, they know exactly how to cook these basic items. They've been trained on them since day one, so there's absolutely zero confusion when an order for one of these standard items comes flying through the door.
And standing right at the front of the house is our restaurant manager, the Kubernetes API server. This manager is the one who takes your orders, which in our world are your YAML manifests. Now, because the manager knows those standard menu items by heart, if you hand them an order for, say, a pod or a service, boom, the manager accepts it immediately. The ticket gets passed to the back and the standard controllers, our line cooks, get straight to cooking. It's a perfectly tuned, highly efficient system, as long as you stick to the menu.
But what happens when we don't? As environments grow, especially when you start integrating advanced platforms like Data Services 2.0 or Taikun, the demands completely change. Imagine a customer walking in and handing the manager a ticket for a highly complex, totally non-standard application. Let's call it a 5-tier anti-gravity wedding cake. Suddenly, panic. A giant red error 400 unknown resource floats right above our manager's head. They look at the ticket and are just like, I have no idea what this is. This is definitely not on my menu.
So that brings us to a pretty massive challenge. The manager just flat out rejected our complex YAML manifest because, well, it simply isn't on the standard chalkboard menu. But we absolutely need to deploy these complex distributed databases and applications. So how do we teach the kitchen to accept it? How do we hack the system to unlock the secret menu?
Well, the solution to unlocking that secret menu is the Custom Resource Definition, or CRD for short. Think of a CRD as a highly detailed blueprint that extends the Kubernetes API. In our Kube cake shop, applying a CRD is literally the exact equivalent of handing our panicked manager a brand new menu insert, right along with a detailed blueprint. You're basically looking at the manager and saying, hey, take a deep breath. From now on, a wedding cake is a perfectly valid order, and here is exactly what the ticket should look like.
By simply applying that CRD, we've successfully updated the chalkboard menu in our restaurant. Our standard menu still has the usual pods and services, sure, but we've now tacked on a secret menu insert. This is huge because it means our system is no longer limited to just the basics. It can actually recognize highly complex distributed data architectures, like a Postgres cluster, which, by the way, is our technical equivalent of that extravagant 5-tier anti-gravity wedding cake.
And the results? Totally immediate. With the menu officially updated, the very next time a customer walks up and hands over a YAML manifest ticket for a wedding cake, the API server doesn't freak out. Instead, the manager recognizes the item from the new menu insert and stamps it with his beautiful, glowing green approval. The order is accepted.
But hold on a second, because there is a massive twist in our kitchen. The accepted ticket slides down the wire to the back of the house, right into the hands of our standard line cooks. The built-in kubelet and replica set controllers. And what do? They look at this insanely complex blueprint for an anti-gravity wedding cake, they literally shrug their shoulders, toss the ticket aside, and go straight back to sleep. The cake is not being baked. The status of our order simply reads, unfulfilled.
Okay, so the absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly why this happens. We call this the idle kitchen dilemma. You see, while the CRD successfully taught the manager the word, meaning the system now recognizes and accepts the order, it completely failed to teach the kitchen the actual action required to bake it. A CRD is really just a definition, right? It doesn't contain any logic. Our standard cooks simply do not have the skills to bake this cake.
Enter our hero. Bursting through the kitchen doors comes the operator, also known in the biz as a custom controller. The operator is a highly specialized executive pastry chef that you hire specifically to handle these complex, custom orders. This chef contains the actual code, the logic, and the intelligence to build your custom applications. They stand right there in the kitchen, completely ignoring all the basic orders
and they watch the API server's order board like a hawk, just waiting for a wedding cake ticket to pop up.
And over on the assembly line, the exact moment that custom order is accepted, the operator jumps into motion. And honestly, here's the genius part. They aren't using magic. They're using standard Kubernetes ingredients. The specialist chef grabs these basic, small boxes labeled pod, service, and config map and uses their specialized logic to physically assemble and build out that massive, glowing 5-tier wedding cake. They're orchestrating the standard ingredients to create the complex final product.
But get this, an operator's job doesn't just end when the cake leaves the kitchen. Not only does this chef know exactly how to interpret those complex orders and assemble the standard ingredients, but they are constantly monitoring the application. If something goes sideways in production, say, a tier of that database cake randomly falls over or a node completely fails, this chef instantly recognizes the problem and automatically bakes a replacement tier to fix it. It's literal, continuous, automated lifecycle management.
So, to quickly summarize our recipe here, the custom resource definition is your menu update. It teaches the manager the vocabulary so the API can actually accept your custom YAMA orders. The operator, on the other hand, well, that's the action. That's our highly specialized pastry chef doing the actual heavy lifting, containing the exact code to build, manage, and fix your complex applications. You almost always need these two working together as a pair.
Now, why does this matter so much to you and your infrastructure? Well, because this pairing of CRDs and operators is the absolute backbone of modern multi-cloud architectures. It's what allows us to automate the deployment and the entire lifecycle of massive, highly sensitive data services. Whether we're talking about a sprawling database or a complex machine learning pipeline, operators handle the heavy operational tasks. And the best part? It requires absolutely zero human intervention when things need to scale up or when things inevitably break.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a slightly provocative thought to chew on. We've seen how extending the Kubernetes API allows us to manage incredibly complex systems entirely on autopilot. So if we can already teach our cloud kitchens to automatically deploy, monitor, and repair anti-gravity wedding cakes and massive data clusters, what limitless, impossible recipes will your operators be cooking up next? The secret menu is entirely yours to write. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hey, keep exploring.